beauties, we are onto our blush declutter. Here are all of my blushes. And again, please keep in mind, if you are new here, I know that this series this year is slightly rushed. I do apologize. We are in the process of moving. So I'm also trying to obviously make content, but you know, this is real life and I have to declutter. So we're gonna do like we have been doing. My goal for each category is about 10. I have over 40, so that's probably not going to happen. So we shall see. I love blush. I've always loved blush. It is one of my favorite products. So yeah, we're just going to dive in. Of course, we'll start from left to right. If there are any call outs, standouts, we will open and swatch. And if this runs a little bit longer, I do apologize. If it gets long, y'all know what mama says, honey. Grab your tacos and your tequila, your milk and your cookies, your Doritos, your Cheetos, your Fritos, whatever is your pleasure, and sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Thank you in advance. All right, we're gonna come right here to the Benefit Georgia blush. This is a beautiful kind of golden peachy blush, and it has a little bit of shimmer in it. You will also notice a theme with most of these blushes. I like, just like with my bronzers, I like a more kind of sheeny, lit from within, glowy type of blush. I know that's not everybody's vibe, but if that is your vibe, then what I have and what I like is probably going to be good for you. Anyways, all this to say, I really like this blush. I really like to take it for travel as well, so that's a keep. Next up is this Real Her Make It Pop blush. This is their Power Wear blush, and it is this beautiful kind of peachy pink, pretty glowy type of blush. I actually have not tried this yet, and I'm pretty sure, y'all, with all of this, we have one comparable, so this one can go. Next up is the Balm Third Date Blush. This actually is more of like a highlight. It is very glowy, as you can see. So to wear it as a highlight, it definitely would be too deep for me. And I just swatched it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this as well. Next up is this It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores blush. This is in the shade Sweet Cheeks. And you can see this one also is more kind of peachy pinky, and it has like a little bit of a radiance to it as well. Again, that's just my vibe. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile because again, I feel like I probably have quite a few like this. So that's gonna go in the maybe pile just for now. Next up is this Avon blush. This was the Blush of Hope. And this was like a limited edition breast cancer one. I don't even think I use this. And again, it is one of those that's kind of a typical me blush. I like more peachy blushes. It has like that peachy pink with a little bit of shimmer to it, a little bit of glow to it. So I'll go ahead and declutter this one. Next up is this mini Tarte blush in the shade Captivating. Pretty much the same thing. It's a very soft, pretty, like peachy shade with a little bit of luminous quality to it. We have enough. We're going to declutter. Next up is one of my favorites, actually. I recently discovered the Clinique Cheek Pop blushes, and I'm obsessed. I think they're fantastic. This is the shade Fig Pop, and I don't really have very many that are in this kind of color, so I'm going to hold on to this one as well. Next up is this She Glam. This is the Tangerine blush, and as you can see, it's this beautiful, very peachy, yummy, delicious, like ombre effect blush. Again, I feel like I'm going to have this shade over and over again because, I mean, it's my favorite type of shade, so we can go ahead and declutter. Next up is this EX1 Cosmetics, kind of like a more neutrally blush. It is Jet Set Glow. I have not even used it yet. We'll go ahead and declutter. Next up is this beautiful fiery orange to deep orange ombre blush from Moira Cosmetics. It is Orange Blossom. The only reason I'm decluttering this is because it's way too deep for me, even in the summertime. If you do have medium to deep skin and you're looking for blushes and face products that are heavily pigmented, highly impactful, highly recommend. They're very affordable as well. The thing is with this though is it's punch out of the gate. It's not like a super buildable type of formula, which that's fine. It's too dark for me, that's all. So we're gonna go ahead and declutter. Next up is my Mitchell blush in the shade Peach Sugar. I was gifted this from Kate in one of our swaps. I love this so much. The formula is beautiful. They're very easy to work with. They blend out well, and the staying power is there. So keeping for sure. Next up is this Sugar Bomb from Benefit, and this is what it looks like. I am going to hold on to this because I actually have not tried this yet. I'm pretty sure this is one of their kind of newer little shades, and it'd be perfect for travel, so keeping. Next up is this Ofra and Madison Miller blush. All we need is love. Again, I have plenty. I mean, how many peach blushes can a person have? So we'll go ahead and declutter this one as well. Next up is the e.l.f. Luminous Petit Blush in the shade Isla del Sol. As you can see, it is this beautiful kind of fiery orange with a lot of sparkle to it. I love this. Obviously, I got it towards the end of summer, so I'm sad that I'm not going to be able to use it till next summer, but definitely keeping that. Next up, we have this little Ilia blush right here. It's their little blush stick in the shade Dreamer. These are all like blush sticks and like cream blushes. Let me look at it real quick. Let me just see what the shade is. This is a really beautiful formula. Oh yeah, I like this. This is kind of like reminiscent to the Clinique Cheek Pop, kind of that more like neutrally type of like mauve shade. It blends well. It's super creamy, long lasting. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to that. This Revolution one right here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter simply because it's too light for me. So we'll declutter that. We have this little Avon True Color blush in the shade Blushing Nude. I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this because now I have kept a couple of more nudie shades and I know I have some more over here. Next up, I have this Tarte Cream Blush in the shade Peach Sunset. Of course, it would be peachy, orangey. Let me look. Okay, I think I'm gonna hold on to this one as well for now, or put it in the maybe pile with the Bye Bye Pores one. We'll see. Okay, for now it's gonna go in the maybe pile. Next up is the Alva Fruit Blusher by Uden's Eye. This is an Apricot Girl. It's a beautiful, very soft shade. Again, kind of more in that peachy realm. But I do have blushes that obviously are better for my skin in the winter months, and then some that are better for summer months. So for now, I'll hold on to it. Next up is this little Milk makeup stick in the shade Work. I feel like the Ilia one is quite similar, so I'll declutter. Next up is the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in the shade Bliss. This is also a little bit too light, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Next is the e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Stick in the shade Bronze Cherry. I haven't even used it yet, and clearly we have enough. I got it to test when they first came out, and clearly I'm always late to the party, so we're going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Next up is this itty bitty little mini of the NARS Orgasm Blush. I've said this before, I don't even honestly know why I have this. I do not like this. I feel like the pigment has never been there. The lasting power is not with this, so we're just going to go ahead and declutter this. I do not like it. Next up is this Makeup Geek blush. This is the shade Covet. It's just a little bit too deep, and I know I could hold on to it until spring and summer of next year, but I literally used it like one time, and I know I won't use it until then, so we can declutter. Next up, I have two of the Keys Soul Care Sheer Flush cheek tints. I have one that is the sensual one. It's a little bit more kind of dark and berry, and then I have this one right here that is a little bit lighter. This is my favorite cream blush. This is my favorite cream blush of all time. I'm definitely keeping both. If you're looking for a cream blush that kind of really sets down, but it doesn't look super flat, it doesn't look super matte or cakey, but it wears well, it looks beautiful, it kind of allows your natural oils to come through. Ooh, it is phenomenal. Next up is the Makeup by Tammy That's So Cheeky little cheek palette. I have used the heck out of this. I love it. I like that it has the highlighters and it has the blushes. I can use the pink if I need something pink, and I can use the peach if I need something peach, so keeping. Next up, also another favorite, like the packaging itself is a 10 out of 10. Everything I've tried from Lunar Beauty has been phenomenal. I really like the variety in here. It is also one that blends very well. It is buildable, which is my preference for blushes, but it also has great lasting power, which is super important to me, so definitely keeping. Next up is the Be Perfect Cosmetics Scorched Blush. I think I only used this one time, but it is in the shade Heat, and it's just a little bit too deep for me, so I'll declutter. Next up is this little Jouer little blush duo. I think it is absolutely stunning. It has a little bit of like shimmer and glow, but not glitter, not heavy particles. It's in the shade Rose Gold with Marigold and Rose Petal. I really like to keep this in my overnight bag and travel with this, so definitely keeping. Next up is the Burt's Bees blush. This is in the shade Bare Peach. Also got this because it was super hyped up, and I wanted to test it out for you guys. I feel like I've kept enough, and because it's not been used yet, I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Next up is the Cheek Leaders palette from Benefit Cosmetics. I love this palette. I love the variation in here. I love that there are bronzers, blushes, and you could use Tickle as a highlight as well. Really like the formula, nice and buildable, last a long time on the skin, so I will keep. And I think because I'm keeping that, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this Tarte. It's a limited edition clutch, like blush palette. You can see it has like the space to put your phone in and credit cards and stuff like that. And then it has bronzers and blushes. You can go ahead and declutter that as well. Next up is the Kiko Milano, the Festival Glow 3D Blush. I mean, hello. Look how beautiful this is, you guys. I love Kiko Milano products. I think they make really beautiful products, and I think they're super underrated. I have not used this one yet. This is fairly new to my collection, but now that I'm looking at this one, and it is that really pretty, way better than NARS Orgasm could ever be type of peachy pink blush with a little bit of gold reflect in it, I think I want to keep this one because I know that I love their formula a whole lot. I mean, look how, look how beautiful that is. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep this one, and we will go ahead and we will declutter the Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores blush. Next up is a current favorite. It is the BH Cosmetics Chocolate Cherry Truffle palette. It smells divine. Not that I can actually smell right now. Really love this too. Have I kept too many face palettes? Most likely. Most likely, but do I care? Nope. I really love it. Very affordable. Also has that beautiful buildable, blendable formula. And the staying power is there. So I really love this as well. And next up is the Ofra palette. This is the Charm Your Cheeks palette. Whew, that is a mouthful for me to say. I think, honestly, I didn't even use this. It came to me like this in my BoxyCharm. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this as well. I feel like with like the Clinique Cheek Pop and stuff like that, I have plenty of kind of more neutrally mauve-y ones. And of course, I have way too many peachy blushes. So we will go ahead and declutter this. Next up is my LYS Beauty Cream Blush in the shade Kindness. I've had this for a little while now, and it is starting to dry out on me a little bit, but a really beautiful formula. I really do enjoy the formula, but simply because it's a little bit older, I am going to declutter this one as well. Next up is this Marc Jacobs one. I'm going to be very, very careful because it broke. A friend actually gave this to me. And it was a little bit too light, and then it was also broken, and honestly, I just didn't feel like putting it back together. I think I'm just going to toss it. I know that sounds crazy, but I know that I'm not going to end up using it, so we will declutter this as well. Next up, we have another Kiko blush. This is in the shade Cinnamon Crush. I feel like I've kept enough, like the Odin's Eye one and stuff is like this. The one in my Jouer palette is like this, and I think that I like this one better. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well, but come on now, y'all. The packaging, hello, 10 out of 10. Next up is this Zoeva Spice of Life palette. I kind of put this in with my blushers because this is like more of a highlight palette. And I knew that the one on the right was going to be a little too deep for me. And solely for that reason, I am going to go ahead and declutter this palette as well. Next up is the Alamar Cosmetics, the Colorette Blush Trio. I love this palette. I also kept the bronzer palette that I have from them. Beautiful, beautiful formula. I love that these are not super flat on the skin. Like I said, they have a little bit of like luminous quality to them. That's kind of my vibe and my preference, having more dry skin, more dehydrated skin. They're beautiful. They blend really well, they build really well, and the lasting power is there, so that is a keep for sure. Next up is this Folly Fire blush in the shade Hot Terrain, solely because it's going to be too deep. I did use this during the summertime. Just because it's going to be a little bit too deep for me during the winter months, I will declutter. Next up is this ColourPop blush. This is called Crossroads. I also feel like I've kept enough kind of in this realm, but you can see even with this one, it just has that beautiful like soft kind of sheeny glow to it. Not glitter, not chunky, not crazy on the skin, but it just gives this beautiful kind of luminous lit from within quality to the skin. Very, very pretty. Of course, it's at an affordable price point as well, but we got too many, so it can also go. Next up is my Serafina blush from Juvia's Place. I love this blush. It is one of my all-time favorites. It's definitely more of a summertime blush, but it has beautiful pigmentation to it. It has these beautiful teeny tiny like silvery sparkles in it. Again, you don't actually see it on the skin. It blends out incredibly smoothly, as you can see. The staying power is there. I love it, and it's also quite affordable. Next up is this little Wet n Wild little cheek duo. It is the Relationship Goals one. I'm going to go ahead and pass it along just because now I already know that I have plenty and we don't need it, so it's got to go. Next up, we have a couple of Patrick Ta blushes. We have the blush by itself, and She's Adorable. It is a beautiful kind of soft, muted, peachy, but more neutrally peach, if that makes any sense. And again, because, you know, it's me, it has a soft, sheeny quality to it. I really, really love this. Again, blends out very, very smoothly on the skin. Lasts a long time on the skin. Definitely keeping. One of my favorite blushes. We also have this little duo right here in Do We Know Her. And I do love his packaging, you guys, but it gets really dirty really, really fast. I think honestly because I've kept enough in this realm, and I don't always use cream blush. I do like them, but you know, they're not my everyday. I think I'm also gonna go ahead and declutter this one. And last but not least is the Kosas Color and Light Pressed Blush. And this is what it looks like. It's a little duo. I think because it's a duo, and I don't always like little duos that are like this, only because it's hard for me to put my brush in here. As much as I love Kosas products, like they're one of my favorite brands, I haven't used it yet, and we definitely have enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one as well, and then I'll put everything together and show you my declutter pile and the keep pile. BRB. All right, that is all I'm keeping. I actually decided to keep both Patrick Ta's because I felt like I got it down small enough that if I kept both, I was okay with it. So here's our keep pile. And our declutter pile. Holy crap. I think I did an amazing job. Yeah, what do you guys think? Are any of these your favorites? Are any of these your holy grails? Are you dying to try any of these blushes? Are some of these just trash and you hate them? Let's have that conversation down below. And how did I do? Keep, declutter. I love you, beauties. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. And of course, be your own best beautiful. Bye, beauties.